Okay, guys, let's look at this one. So modeling. So that could be a word problem. So here's some tips. All right. So first, you should read. If you don't read, you cannot get anything, right? You don't even know what's the question. So we need to read first, and after that, you have to identify input and output. So it depends on the question. So you have different situation, but anytime when you read, they will say what is your input, and after you put that value, what's the function value. So you can get it from the graph or as a sentence. All right, and after that, um, type of questions. So normally you will see there's four different types of question. So popular one is asking maximum and minimum value, or y-intercept, which is the initial value, and or they could also ask you x-intercepts or a function value. Okay, so like we will practice that one by solving these problems, right? And also, you know what? We have to make sense of the equation. So, time, length, area, height, or like those kinds of stuff cannot be negative value, right? So, depends on the question. At the end, you need to make sure. And if that is the money, then we need to round up by cents, right? Those kind of stuff. So, let's look at the question, guys. So, when you look at this, number one, a certain company's main source of income is a mobile app. The company's annual profit as a function of the app's price is modeled by this, right? So, look, from here I'm gonna figure out my input and output first. So when I look at this graph, that's p of x, that's the function, right? And x is my input, right? X is my input. And so look at this. You get annual profit function, right? So P is my profit. So profit, that is your output. This is my output. Or output confuse you, then you can just say that's Y. That is your Y, right? And then this X value, that is what? That's the app's price. So this is my input, which is my X value. All right. So X values, your input, and profit, that's your Y value, output. All right. And also when you look at the form, you will see you will see this form is factored form. Right? This is the factored form. So we know that. So we can get directly our x-intercepts, right? But let's look at the question. What would be the company's profit, right? What would be the company's profit if the app price is $0? So what was the app price? That was your input, right? So in other words, this one means what? Your x is 0, right? Your x is 0. Then what is your function value? So what do? We just put 0 into x, right? So let's do it. -2, 0 minus 3, 0 minus 11, then you get -2 times -3 times -11, which is -66, right? So -$66. If the app price is $0, then they lose $66 million. All right. So we're doing this. And look at the next one, guys, number 2. So let's get the question. So also you have factored form, right? You have factored form, and when you read, Amir stands on a balcony and throws a ball to his dog, who is at ground level. So this is like on the ground. There's a dog. I'm sorry. I'm really bad at drawing. So there's a dog, and he is where? He's at the balcony, like this. So he's standing here, and he's throwing a ball, right? So like this. This is happening. and the ball's height in meters above the ground. So the ball's height, that is your height, h. So this is your output, which is your y value. And x seconds after a meter throw it. So x seconds, this is your input, right? And you have factored form, right? And how many seconds after being thrown will the ball reach its maximum height? So what are we getting it? Maximum value, right? Our maximum value. Then look, you have factored form and you want to get maximum height. Then we need to get x-intercepts, which is -1 and 7, right? And to get the vertex, because you want to get the maximum, right? We add and divide by 2 to get the midpoint, right? So it will be 6/2. Then that is 3, right? So when it's 3 seconds, when you put it back, you will get the maximum height. But look at the question, guys. The question just asks you how many seconds after, right? How many seconds after being thrown. So it didn't ask you what's the maximum height. So you don't have to get it. You just stop over here. So when it is 3 seconds, it will reach the maximum height, right? Okay. And number 6. An object is launched from a platform. Its height and x seconds after the launch is modeled by, so height, your height is the output, and your time, x seconds, that is input, right? And then this time you have vertex form, right? You have a vertex form, and let's get the question. How many seconds after, so anyway, you're getting x values, right? Will the object hit the ground? Hit the ground. So let's think about this one. The ball hit the ground. Then what's the height of the ball? Ground is here. A ball is here. Then the height of the ball will be 0, right? Your height is 0. Your y value is 0. So this is asking you what happened your height equals 0, like this. All right, so we're just solving this. 5 x minus 4 squared plus 180 equals 0, and we're just solving it. So you're looking for x-intercepts, all right? So let's solve it. X minus 4 squared equals -180, right? And then we have this -5, but we need to cancel that, so let's divide it. Divide it by -5, divided by -5. Then 180 divided by -180 divided by -5, then that is, what is it? 36, right? It is 36. So I get x minus 4 squared equals 36, right? And you take the square root like that, then you get x minus 4, which is positive, negative, square root of 36, that is 6, right? So x equals 4 plus 6 or 4 minus 6, right? And that is 10 or -2, right? And I told you, we need to make sense of the question. The time, we are looking for the seconds. Can it be negative? Can it be -2 seconds? No. So you just answer 10. Okay. And number 7. So this is what you're just looking for. Maximum number of fish. So this is what P is. Certain part of the ocean, the population, fish population. That is my y value. That's my y, right? Or function value. As a function of the water's temperature. Water's temperature, that is my input, which is x. right? And we have vertex form, which we can get vertex directly. And look at this. What temperature will result in the maximum number of fish? So when you get maximum, so which is in your vertex, right? So that means we need to get our vertex. But this is vertex form, so we can get it easily. 9, 200, right? This is the fish population because that's my y value, right? So that's number of fish. And this is my temperature. Right? So the question asks you what temperature, right? What temperature? So we're just answering temperature, which is 9 degrees. All right. And two more questions. So standard forms, right? These are the standard forms. And now you're getting like some sense. They will give you the function, and depends on the question, you're just getting like that information. All right. So this is an object is launched from a platform. Its height and x seconds after the launch is modeled by. It says like same thing. So this is your height. Height is your y value, and seconds, that's your x value. And you got the standard form. And look at the question, guys. What is the height of the object at the time of launch? So at the time of launch, so will be what? Initial value when the time is 0. When you just started, right? What's the height? Then the question's asking you what's the y-intercept. So you put 0 into x. But this is standard form, so you can just get y-intercept, which is 60, right? So answer will be 60. And 11. Same thing, right? So the height is my output, and the time, that is my input, right? And what is the maximum height that the hovercraft will reach? So we're just looking for the maximum height, right? So let's get what? Vertex. You need to get the vertex. This is standard form, so you need to do negative b over 2a, right? Negative b over 2a equals negative b over 2a. Then you get 20 over 4, and just cancel this negatives. Then you get 5, right? So when it is 5, you get the maximum. So not yet, we need to put it back, right? So negative 2, 5 squared, 20 times by 5, like that. Then you will get that's 25 times by negative 2, so negative 50. Oops. Plus 100 plus 48. When you do this, that makes 50 plus 48. So my answer will be 98. So my maximum height will be 98 meters. All right, so guys, this is it. This is it for today. It's like kind of like a lot, but you can do it. I just want to teach more so that could help you next year. All right, so today's lesson quiz. Do you see Ms. Hong's hand entire time of the lesson? Yes or no? That's the question. All right. Okay, guys, you have a great day. And don't forget you have NWA test next week. All right. Bye-bye, guys.